Hello, my loves. Your favorite fabulous fairy here, and tonight we're going to be talking about more ghost stories. So, normally I try not to let my mom comment on anything, but because this story was originally hers and it became my story because I became involved in the later development of it, I'm going to say it as much as I remember, but Mom, if you happen to be out there in France land listening and I messed something up, go ahead and comment below and let them know what I messed up, okay? So I'll go ahead and give you permission. Alright, so this story started off when my mom was a little girl. My grandfather was a construction man, like developer, designer, something along the lines of that. The big guy, though, he was the one making plans. He developed this place called Madera. He wasn't like the first one, but he was one of the first ones. And they made these things called the ranchos. And it's like a housing development thing. And it used to be out in the middle of this orange field. So or orange grove, I should say. My mom and grandma and uncle and grandpa's house was on the hill in the middle of this orange grove. So my mom would hear, well, started off, she would see shadows. She kept seeing shadows dart out the corner of her eye and like across the piano or doing whatever. And then she kind of thought, because she had bad eyesight, maybe it was just her eyes. One day, out of, I don't know if it was out of the blue or maybe it just got brought up organically, I think she said during breakfast, somebody had noticed a shadow and somebody said something, and then, you know, my mom said, oh, I see that all the time, and then grandpa said, oh, I see that all the time, and then everybody chimes in. So it turns out everybody had been seeing this thing, and nobody had talked about it because they all assumed they were seeing it on their own, independent, seeing it, and, you know, it was just them. It was their own eyesight failing them or whatever it might be. Upon talking about this shadow thing, they realized that there was something going on in the house. But they're very Christian people, so they didn't think too much of it. I think they had my great-grandfather come up and bless the property and do holy water and the whole bit. And then they felt a little bit better about it. Well, my mom was asleep one night in her bed, and she was awoken to the sound of drums. Dun 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 dun. And she kind of describes it along the lines of something like that. It scared her. It frightened her. Before she knew it, my Uncle Darcy came and laid in the bed with her. And he was scared too. And she's like, do you hear that? And he said, yeah, do you hear that? And they laid in bed and they listened to it. Just two little kids scared. Well, my mom describes it as soon as the very first ray of light peeked through her window. So it came up over the mountain. As soon as the very first peak of light came up over the hill, the music stopped. The drums stopped completely. Dead silent. Nothing. So my mom and my uncle were kind of, you know, scared about this, worried about this, but, you know, finally, you know, it stopped. Okay, it finally stopped. They can go on with their day. They ask my grandma and my grandpa, did you hear it? They say no. So Mom goes out, and I don't know if she was by herself or if she had my uncle with her, and she's going in the orange field, and she's kind of walking towards where she heard the sound. According to her, she came across a huge hog, like huge hog, and a hog is like, you know, giant pig, but we're talking like 6-8 feet long or longer, you know, a couple 100 pounds, like a huge animal. And there's drag marks behind it, like it had been dragged for a long time. And she said there was other animal bones, and I don't remember if she said there was blood, or I don't remember if she says there was candles. I think she said there was a fire pit that had been put out, like just recently extinguished. You could still see like smoldering. Scared by this, she runs back to the house. She fetches my grandfather. He grabs his gun. He comes right back down. They go to the exact spot. My mom says there's nothing. There's not. I don't remember if she says there was drag marks in the ground still or not, but I remember she says the pig is gone, and any sign of anything going on was absolutely removed, gone, no longer there. And there's no possible way that she got the where it was wrong. They looked everywhere. It just was like no sign. My grandfather doesn't believe them then. I don't remember if she got punished or not, but they don't, you know, obviously you're full of it and you wasted my time, kid, and so the end of that. I don't remember if she said it was the very next night or if it was a few nights later, but she heard the drums again, starting around maybe, you know, midnight, 1 o'clock, and they went on and on and on. And again, as soon as the very first peak of light comes up over the hill, it stops. And I don't know how many times this happened, but I know it happened more than one time. So this brings us into how is this part of my story? Okay, so my mom has told me this story since I was little. Well, not since I was little, but since I was younger. And she dated this guy for a while that I did not particularly like, and I did know that he was superstitious, and he doesn't like anything to do with anything kind of weird, off-kilter at all. So, definitely gonna tell him the story, right? Of course I am, because I'm a good little girl. We start telling the story, and my mom, she's like me. She'll get really into some stuff, right? So she's like, oh yeah, and then this and this and this, right? So it's almost sundown, and we're telling him the story. No shit. Sun goes down. We're in the middle of telling the story. We just got done with the dun 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 part of the story, and all of a sudden we hear drums. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. They start up, and this is in real life. We just got done telling the story. This is we're telling this. It's random as heck that we're telling the story. I don't even remember what brought it up. And all of a sudden, these drums start going off. The guy she was dating trips out. He's like, what the hell? Because he does not like anything that has to do with anything that could be spiritual, religious, weird, magic, haunted, superstitious. Oh my goodness. I walked under a ladder one time, freaked him out. He made me go back under the ladder again. He was convinced I was going to bring bad luck on everybody. Anyways, so the drums are going off. He's tripping out. Me and my mom were like, oh my gosh. My sister's like, oh my gosh, because here we are. We're like, okay, these drums are happening. How are they happening? We end up getting in the car, and like we were living in the things called mansionettes at the time, which is like if you were to take what they call a mansion, but it's not tall, and they just kind of spread it out on a long property. So it's basically like a bigger ranch house that's just like spread out on like, you know, and then you got like a couple acres behind you. So our neighbors are, you know, we only have so many neighbors because the property is so big. So we're driving, and at the other end of the property, there's a fence, and we all have the same white picket fence. It's like, you have to, if you're in that area or whatever, everybody has to have the same. So you can see right into everyone's backyard and exactly what they're doing. And in the middle of this yard, there's this field. There's all these luminaries, and the luminaries are like basically paper bags with a candle in them so that the bag lights up. So there's all these white luminaries, and they're in this crazy pattern on the ground. And there's all these people walking around in white robes, and they have like the robes on, and their hands are like this, and they all got like a candle in their hand, and they were all walking like in sync in this like pattern within these luminaries. And there was a guy in a black robe and a guy in a red robe, and they were like doing like drum beat kind of things, and it was freaking crazy. And so we were sitting there watching these people. We were like pulled up at like the back of their field, kind of watching, because it's basically there's the outer field, and then they're on their inner field, and then it would be their would-be backyard, and then their house, and then their front yard. So we're quite a ways away from them, but still to where we can clearly see everything. And then all of a sudden these people come up on an ATV, and they're super, okay, I've got family from Oklahoma, so I can say hick and stuff like that. It's like my family, right? You know, but these people were completely hick about it. They were like, y'all witchcrafters out there, you know, and they're all yelling like obscenities at these people and stuff. And we got the heck out of there, because we're like, we didn't want to be associated with them, because I'm thinking, you're an idiot. If you think that they believe in magic and they believe in witchcraft, why are you going to insult them? Because you don't have to believe in it for them to believe in it, and if they believe in it hard enough, it can still work on you. And that's the thing they didn't think about. But anyways, so that's pretty much it. We got out of there, but I thought it was more than a coincidence that we happened to talk about the drum beats on that night. And what we were talking about was something that had happened in Madera, and the city we were in was a place called Fresno, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from Madera, because we were in the countryside of Fresno. So it's not like it was even in the same city. It was just more than coincidence, I think, that we were talking about it, and then it happened again. Oh, random stuff flying around. Don't worry. Oh, That's scary! Don't worry, it's just nature. Go away, nature! Alright, so my nature wants to be friends with us. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. I love you so much. Please comment below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, please be a Patreon supporter. You guys are like my life's blood. I can't do it without you. Even $1 a month helps me continue to do stories and videos and meditations and everything you guys like. And please, comment below. Let me know. Am I doing an okay job? I know it could definitely be better, but I am definitely trying. And if there's a specific video you guys would like me to do, let me know about it. I'm pretty sure I can accommodate. And also, DIYs will be on the way. So, looking forward to that. Alright, peace out.